Laura. Laura, I just got back from Japan and I think I've accidentally insulted an entire nation. Multiple times. In multiple ways. And I have absolutely no idea what I've done.
Jesus, Matthew. What did you do this time?
That's just it, I don't know. I tried to be respectful and polite, and somehow everyone kept staring at me like I committed some terrible crime. There were 3 separate incidents and I'm completely baffled.
Oh boy. Okay, take a breath. Tell me everything from the beginning.
Right. The first incident was at a business dinner in Tokyo. Lovely restaurant, absolutely beautiful. My client invited me, and we're all sitting around this table. The waiter brings a sake, and my client very kindly pours some into my cup.
Okay.
So I drink it, and then my cup is empty again. I think to myself, Matthew, don't be a burden, just help yourself. So I pick up the sake bottle and pour myself another cup. Just being self-sufficient, you know.
Oh no, please don't tell me you.
Everyone went completely silent. Like someone had died. My client's smile just froze. Then this other chap reaches over, takes the bottle from my hands, and pours my drink for me. What did I do?
You never pour your own drink in Japan. Never. That's like rule number 1.
But why? I was trying to be polite.
It's about hierarchy and respect. Someone else pours for you, you pour for others. It's this whole community thing. You basically told everyone, I don't need you people.
I didn't mean that at all. Is that why they looked so uncomfortable?
Yes, what did you do after?
I apologized for about 10 minutes straight. They were very gracious about it, thankfully. But I felt awful.
Because you rejected their hospitality. Okay, what else happened?
The next day I visited an onsen, those hot spring baths. I've got my swimming trunks on under my robe. I shower first like the sign said, then walk into the bathing area feeling quite proud.
With your trunks on?
Well, yes. I wasn't going to parade around completely naked in front of strangers. That would be indecent.
Oh Matthew, you sweet innocent fool.
Everyone stops and stares at me. Everyone. This elderly Japanese gentleman comes over, pointing at my bright blue trunks and shaking his head very urgently. Making these gestures like, take them off.
Because you're supposed to be naked. Completely naked.
But that's absurd. How was I supposed to know that?
It's an onsen. That's literally the whole point. You don't wear anything.
An attendant had to escort me out. I was so embarrassed, Laura. Everyone was watching the British man in swimming trunks being removed from the bath.
I'm wheezing. You were the weird one.
The attendant explained that clothing in the water is considered unhygienic. They gave me a small towel for walking to the bath, but once you're in the water, it's au naturel.
As God intended.
I did go back in properly afterward, but everyone already knew me as that British man who wore pants.
Okay, please tell me there's more.
The third incident was on the subway. I'd been walking around Tokyo all day, feet absolutely killing me, and I finally get on the train and find an empty seat. Brilliant. I sit down, take out my phone, just having a rest.
Why do I sense disaster approaching?
A few stops later, this elderly woman gets on. She's standing right in front of me, holding the rail. And I'm sitting there, checking my messages, just relaxing.
You didn't give up your seat.
I didn't realize I was supposed to. In London, people sit in those seats all the time. Nobody expects you to automatically give it up.
Matthew, respecting elders is huge in Japan. Like, the biggest deal ever.
But nobody said anything. This young woman near me just stared at me. Didn't say a word. Just gave me this look that made me feel about 2 inches tall.
The silent judgment. That's peak Japanese passive aggression.
Then a businessman stands up from his seat and gestures for the elderly woman to sit down. He just stays standing. And that's when it hit me. Oh bloody hell, Matthew, you're supposed to give up your seat.
Little late for that realization, buddy.
I jumped up immediately. But she'd already taken the other man's seat. So I'm just standing there like an absolute muppet, having learned my lesson far too late.
Amazing. You hit the trifecta. Matthew, you messed up drinking etiquette, bathing etiquette, and basic respect for elders. That's 3 major cultural pillars.
I was trying my best. Nobody tells you these things.
That's what Google is for. That's what I'm for. I told you to research before you left.
I skimmed a few articles.
You skimmed. Of course you did.
In my defense, Japan is very complicated. There are so many unspoken rules.
That's exactly why you need to do your homework. You can't just show up and expect your British manners to translate.
I genuinely thought I was being polite. Pouring my own drink so I wasn't a burden, wearing appropriate swimming attire, sitting down when I was tired.
All perfectly fine in England. But in Japan, you basically announced I don't respect your culture 3 times in 2 weeks.
That's a bit harsh.
Is it though? Let's break this down. In Japan, when someone pours your drink, you let them. It's about connection and mutual care. Nobody pours their own.
I understand that now, yes.
Onsens are bathing areas where you get naked. No clothes. Not even underwear. Nothing. The whole point is to be natural and clean.
Yes, I know that now too.
And respecting elders? That's not just a Japan thing, Matthew. That's pretty much everywhere in Asia. You always give up your seat for elderly people.
I just didn't think about it in the moment.
Look, Matthew, your heart was in the right place. You weren't trying to be disrespectful. But good intentions don't matter if you don't do your research. What's polite in one place can be rude as hell in another.
The Japanese people were very kind about it, though. Once I apologized and showed that I wanted to learn, they were incredibly patient.
Because they are lovely people who understand foreigners make mistakes. But you can't rely on that everywhere.
I've learned my lesson. Before my next trip, I'm doing proper research. Videos, articles, maybe even a cultural course.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm serious. I don't want to be that foreigner ever again. It was mortifying.
Good. So let's recap. In Japan, never pour your own drinks. Let others pour for you and you pour for them. Strip down completely at an onsen. No trunks, no nothing. And always give your seat to elderly people.
Also, just generally read the room. If everyone's looking at you strangely, there's probably a reason.
That's actually solid advice. Pay attention to social cues, even if nobody says anything directly.
The Japanese are masters of nonverbal communication. That disapproving stare says more than 1,000 words.
And you received plenty of those stares, didn't you?
More than I'd care to admit.
Well, at least you're self-aware now. That's growth.
I like to think I've evolved as a traveler.
You've evolved from completely clueless to slightly less clueless. Baby steps.
I'll take it.
And that's the Etiquette Enigma, where Matthew learns cultural lessons the hard way so you don't have to.
Please learn from my mistakes. Do your research. Be mindful. And for heaven's sake, take off your swimming trunks at the onsen.
Words to live by. See you next time.
Cheerio.